to win a share of the title, and coming up short is disappointing. And there's no way to, I can't wax poetic about it. It's disappointing. It stinks, right? And not playing as well as we could have, I think is probably one of the things that's disappointing. But as I told the team in the locker room after the game, like, this is when you put yourself in these situations, which is it's really hard to put yourself in a game like today, meaning like you're playing to win, right? Win the title. And that speaks to their discipline and their commitment and their wins all through the year. Like, to be a team that was playing for something today, there were obviously two of us playing for something today, and the rest of the league, they're still playing for something, but you guys understand what I'm saying. You're actually playing for the title. It's hard to put yourself there, and I think our players deserve a lot of credit for getting there. We just couldn't push it over the final finish line. And the good thing for us is this isn't the last loss of our season where we're going home. We get a chance to snap right back and get over to Greensboro and see if we can put something together there. So just forward looking, I told them this will hurt for a little bit. It's not like I can just say, hey, put it behind you. Like, it hurts for them. They're frustrated and disappointed. But when we get ready for Greensboro, I know I'll have. And I've said this a lot to y'all. Every time we've lost this year, they've done a great job of like snapping back, not wallowing in it, and just being ready to give a good effort. So hopefully we can do that.
Those will open up for questions.
Yeah, Kara, what do you think led to all the turnovers today, and how big a factor was that?
Yeah, definitely one of the primary factors in the game, to have 25 of them, was uncharacteristic of us. And I think, it's kind of like, I've heard this story about, like, in football, there's a story behind every interception. There's a story behind every turnover. I don't know if I can break down all 25 of them for you, but some was their disruption. I should credit them. I thought they were very disruptive defensively. Some was us not being on the same page offensively. One player's running one play, another player's running another play. And then some of it's poor decision making. Like, everyone's running the right play, but a player makes an error in judgment to throw a ball that maybe they shouldn't, try to thread a needle or things like that. Or it's an inaccurate pass. Some of those are it. So I think it was a combination of all those things, and that really hurt us. That really hurt us because when you turn it over, a team now can transition against you, and they can get going. And I think that definitely was the number one factor for us, was turning it over 25 times.
Hey, Coach, towards the end there, a few fouls that sent UNC to the foul line. What about Deja Kelly and just kind of how they ran their offense in the last few minutes? Had Duke's defense kind of shaken up a little bit there?
I'm not sure we were shaken up. I wouldn't use those words. I just think, like, we just didn't guard one-on-one as well as we should have late, and they made us pay for it. Fouls, and again, every foul is a story, right? Certainly the last foul was not what we wanted. We were trying to play for a stop there, and so if we would have fouled, we would have put them on the line earlier. If we were going to foul, we would put them on the line at the start of the shot clock. So it was not great execution by us, but you know how it is. Those one plays don't determine the game. What determined the game was our inability to take care of the basketball and make shots late. Like, they made shots late, we didn't. I think we had 3 threes go in and out in that fourth quarter. Good looks, and they just rattled in and out, and they had a 3 that switched. And you look at a margin, if you take away free throws, and like, that can be the difference in the game. And but I think them getting into the bonus in the third and fourth quarters, helped them score. As I look, they only scored 45, but 12 of them are from the line. So in a game that's this low scoring, like, giving double-digit points on the line when they were struggling to score against our defense like that's probably the number 2 factor if we're looking at factors right now. The turnovers and the free throws.
How valuable do you think these 2 games versus UNC have been for preparing you guys for March? I've been at both. They've been absolute battles that have taken a lot of character, even though you didn't come out on the losing side.
I've never been to March, so I don't know what prepares you for it. I mean, I'm just being honest. I've never coached an NCAA tournament. So people tell me that the league prepares you, like that the ACC in general, the quality of the teams, stylistically, the differences of the teams will help you. But I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
sure,
I'm going to be a newbie, so.
I can totally think of that context as I
Yeah.
asked it. I mean, but do you see kind of like, do you feel like this series has built kind of your team's character in a way, just having to go through these battles?
Yeah, I don't know that I can single out the series in the sense. I think it's more of just the competition within the conference. And certainly, anytime you're in a game like this where it comes down to the fourth quarter and you've got to figure out how to get stops and you've got to figure out how to get scores, that's valuable. Win or lose, because your players get reps in that moment. And hopefully you learn from that moment and you grow from that moment and you improve and get better.
Yeah, so obviously 41 points, it's tough to beat any team scoring that. And Carolina played a great game defensively, but all the teams are going to play in the ACC tournament and in the NCAAs are also going to play great defensively. What do you guys need to do as an offense to score against great defensive teams?
I have to go back and look at the film to give you the quantity of this, but you all watched the game. I thought we had a plethora of transition opportunities that we did not finish on, where we had the advantage, whether it was 2-on-1, 3-on-2, and we turned it over, or we missed layups and things like that. And I'd have to count them up, but I'm pretty sure it was in the double digits. A lot in the first half, but a bunch in the second half. And it wasn't one player, but some of this is just converting, the plays. I thought we got good looks, and we didn't make them. And that's something we have to work on, get better. But I thought in the first half in particular, when we forced, I think we both had 13 turnovers at half, we had a lot of transition opportunities that we just didn't convert. And this is the second game, I believe, I obviously played them twice. We had 0 transition points in both games. Well, it's really hard to score in the half court the whole game. And then if you're only to the free throw line, 5 points from the free throw line, like there's your 41.
Yeah.
Because in this game like this, the way to buffer if you're struggling in the half court is to get transition opportunities or get to the free throw line, right? And so they did a good job of buffering a poor offensive night by getting to the free throw line. So we have to finish better, and we have a couple days to work on that.
You took control seemingly with the first 7 points of the fourth quarter, and then they went on the 14-2 run. What did they do to shift that momentum?
Well, I mean, we got in the bonus. So I think of that 14, again, don't quote me on this, I'm kind of foggy. I would say at least 6 were free throws, maybe 7. I think Parrish went twice. I think Kelly went late. I mean, so some of that wasn't like, we were fouling, okay? And so that was part of it. And then they made shots. Actually, it would have been 7 free throws because I think Kelly got an and 1 too, right? So 7 of those 14 free throws. And that's a result of us getting in the bonus early in that quarter. You would like to not play defense where every foul is points for them. And we got into that at the end of the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah, kind of going back to the beginning game, it seemed like there's so much going on, so much at stake. It seemed like Duke was maybe overamped. Did you have a hard time calming your team down at the beginning game? Seems like you're doing this a lot.
Yeah, I think that we're amped. I mean, they're excited to play, and I thought we did settle though. Like I didn't go into halftime like I thought we settled, but yeah, I thought for both teams, I don't want to speak for them, but I thought it was a lot of this going on both ways. But I did think we settled throughout the course of the game and got some good possessions in.
So kind of starting I guess behind that last year, the attendance for the UNC home game, I think was around like 5,000. It was a lot lower than it had been sort of like the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I mean, the announced sellout. Just you mentioned earlier this season about like the attendance and the presence in the community increasing. Just how did you feel that effort just kind of show up today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been great. I missed that game last year. This is my first Duke Carolina game at home because I had COVID last year and I missed that game. So I watched it on TV like most people. But this year, it was great, and I look at the environment, and most of you have been with us all year. The environment of our first home game this year versus today. Big difference, right? Big difference. And I think that just shows like what we're building, and that the community really got behind our team and really wanted it for us. It meant a lot, and hopefully we can continue in future years in when we play games in Cameron to have that type of reaction.
And then I'm sure y'all looked at this, the combination of this result and Notre Dame beating Louisville locks you into, if UNC makes it through, we're playing UNC in the quarterfinals this tournament. Just, obviously a pair of losses, but how initially comfortable do you feel with that matchup? How prepared?
Well, what I try to be wary of in postseason is I think they have a game to play
Yes.
before, and I don't know who that would be, but I don't want to disrespect that opponent by talking about a third matchup. I think in March, as we've seen, anything can happen. But I think to win the conference tournament this year is going to take our best basketball, no matter who the opponent is, and hopefully we can play that. If we do see them again, we'll have to play well. We'll have to play better. We'll have to take care of the ball. We'll have to make some shots. We'll just have to be better version of ourselves than we were today. And so we got a couple days to try to get there.
Thanks.
This was as big of a challenge for the regular season as it gets. Regular season title up for grabs. It was senior night. It was a ranked matchup. It was also your guys' biggest rival. Although things didn't turn out how you wanted it to be, why are these types of games so beneficial for team growth and maturing? And do you feel like this can make you guys more hungry for March?
Well, the greatest fallacy, and one of the greatest fallacies, I shouldn't say the greatest, that's given in hyperbole. One of the great fallacies in sport, not just basketball, but sport in general, is that people have this notion that players and athletes are born clutch. They'll say, oh, he or she was born that way. Like big games, they always perform. It's not true. What happens over time is you get repetition in big moments. And you could probably think of an athlete in a sport that maybe has failed at certain times in their career in big moments or not played their best. And then over time, when they get exposed to those types of environments, they figure out how to navigate in that. And when I say figure out how to navigate it, it's total. It's like all those things are listed off. It's physical, it's emotional, it's mentally, understanding how you move and how you work in those big moments, understanding yourself. Okay, and then when you understand yourself in the big moments, now you can give to your team. So for us to be in this type of situation, it gives them individually data on themselves. Hey, I was really nervous, or hey, I tried to force stuff because I wanted it so bad. You have to be able to be honest with yourself and say okay, what happened? And I can't speak to what happened with all of them, right? And they all weren't terrible. They played hard. We're right in it to the end. But that's why I love these. And then over time, you'll watch sports, and a team that has are in these types of battles, over time you're oh, well, they're experienced in this. They know what to expect, they know what to do, and that becomes what you say about them. So my hope and my wish is over time here, we become a program that every year is in high stakes games where we have to figure out how we're going to navigate that. And yeah, we're going to win some, and yeah, we're going to lose some, but at least we'll have more experience. This was a new experience for a lot of us, and that's okay, but that is something that I think people get wrong a lot, is they label someone as non-clutch or clutch way too early in the process, and you have to let things play out. And hopefully the next time we're in a situation like this, we play better, and hopefully we win as well. But you can play really good in a situation like this and still lose. When you're playing a good team, a high stakes game, it's hard.
What were some things that you were emphasizing to Ted Corrisdale and Kennedy Brown?
Well, all of our front court players, we needed them to defensively be strong, be people that we could count on. I thought Taya rebounded it well, and really did a good job. defensively for most of the game. I thought the rebounding, could have potentially been a separator for us. I think we got 11 second chance points, and we had 12 boards. I think we had 8 at half. So when you're not playing well offensively, like, that's really important. So I thought Taya did well in that area. Kennedy did such a good job for us defensively, like in center field, just being a present 6'6" in the lane. So both of them we count on a lot.
Alex Simon from the Next. You kind of, between broadcasting, when you played, probably been in some pretty big rivalry atmospheres like this, but when you're in the coaching position and it's as full and raucous, even in timeouts with fans going back and forth, was there any part of that that maybe caught you even by surprise today with kind of how?
Not really. I don't really, when I'm coaching, I'm trying to figure out what they need from me. And especially to start, we were so, overdoing it and turning it over and just not keeping it simple. And so I think it's really important to keep it simple for them in the huddle and keep it calm for them in certain situations. And so I just focused on that. That's when things seem to not be going our way, whether there's one person in the stands or thousands, it's more of like, what do they need from me in this moment? Like, that's what I ask myself multiple times during the game. Like, what does my team need from me right now? Do they need me to get into them? Do they need me to, be calming? Do we need a play, a specific play? Do we need to make a defensive change? And my assistants do a really good job of helping me with that, because I usually meet with them before I meet with the team, and so we kind of talk about things. So it was fun. It was an environment. I wasn't numb to it or unaware of it, but I don't think it changed, strategically what I did.
Last question, Pat, back.
Coach, 29 different opponents came to Cameron this year between men's and women's teams, and only one obviously getting a win. What makes playing here at Cameron just so terrifying for opponents? Because you guys have had a lot of success here this year. I mean, is it really just coming down to what the fans are doing in the crowd and how loud it gets here?
I think, we have great support in the community, and the environment is always good, and that helps it. But you need to have really good players. I mean, I love our fans, but I can't rank them ahead of the players. You can have a sold-out crowd, and if you don't have good players, you probably won't win as many games. So I think it's a combination of the talent, that we have on our team that has helped us, and then obviously the environment. I think it's a little bit of both.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.